Good morning, folks. It's Veterans Day 2015. My name is Coyote Duran. I'm the managing editor of UCNLive.com, the Undisputed Champion Network, as well as a content editor for RingTV.com. You're probably wondering why this information is pertinent in regard to what I'm about to share with you on this video post, but I think it's specifically pertinent and important, being that today is Veterans Day, and I will further elaborate why. A couple days ago, when I was taking my daughter Michaela to school, I was walking due east on Oak Street, which is here in North Aurora, where we live. And as I was walking along, I noticed on the sidewalk there were a bunch of what seemed to be like business cards that were just covered in frost. Looked like they were just kind of thrown about the previous evening. And I thought it was rather curious. Quite a few of them were colorful, and some of them had what I thought were very peculiar sayings on them. But I didn't take the time to take a look at them because, you know, you're kind of scheduled, regimented, want to get the kid to school in the morning and whatnot. So I made a mental note to take a look at them on the way back home before I started my workday. So as I came back, strolling down the sidewalk, and just if there's any of you folks who own any of those homes and saw this strange man running through your backyards, this is the explanation why, so please bear with me. And I apologize for that. But as I was walking through these backyards, taking a look at these cards, I had noticed that most of them seem to be strewn about in the backyard of a veteran's home. These folks have these dual flags hanging up. One of them is an Army flag, the other is a Marines flag. So bless their hearts for that. Thank you. But I noticed most of these were strewn about in their backyard, in the adjacent backyards, and they've got, well, quite a bit of anti-military rhetoric attached to them. Quite a few of these, 25 of them actually in all. I had decided I was going to take it upon myself after I'd seen their messages. Actually, I was going to pick them up anyhow. I don't like littering. I can't stand it. It drives me nuts. So I was going to pick these up nonetheless. But when I had picked these up, I had noticed all the strange anti-military rhetoric, like I said, very much propaganda-based cards. Stuff like, you're not serving your country, you are serving organized crime. 25 of these in all, mind you. Weird messages. Stop beating the hand that bites you. This one is, where's this one here? Oh, this one is pretty dreadful here. This is one of the ones that really, really burnt my ass. Pardon my French. The Marines are pedophiles, so buy them toys for tots so they can pretend they don't murder children of all ages. This one's good. Clowns and criminals wear costumes. Last time I checked, superheroes did too. Basically, getting back to what I do for a living as an editor, I kind of took it upon myself to do kind of like a mass deletion, a mass edit of my own. My grandfather, he served in the Navy in World War II. Our nephew, Matthew, just came back from overseas doing a one-year tour in Kuwait. He's home safe, thank goodness, and thank you, Matthew, for your service. We love you very much. For all those other folks, and I know many of them, and, you know, this can be debated. You can argue with me all you want. I do see the military as heroes, en masse. Why? Heroism isn't necessarily defined by going out and saving lives or doing this or doing that. Sometimes heroism is defined by going out and making a living. And I guess kind of rising above all odds in order to do so. It's not easy being in the military, no matter what branch you're part of. And it's a huge sacrifice, no matter what it is you do. So, you know, heroism, you know, being a father, a mother, someone who puts, you know, chow on the table or whatever. Somebody who works in, handling a radio or in the dining facility or in technology. No matter what your MOS is or was or whatever the case may be, whether, you know, you're retired or you're active duty, you're a hero to me because you didn't have to do that, but you took it upon yourself to enlist and serve. Like I said, this could be up for debate, but I'm not here to actually debate, and I'm not actually here to be foul and vile and vitriolic, and I've been known to shoot off my mouth on numerous occasions, but I want to make this video safe for one and all to watch. So my disappointment has been curbed exponentially. And the bottom line is, you know, I really didn't want to actually expound upon the demographic or the physical, you know, I guess the physical aspect of the people or the mental aspect of the people who might have done this or their political leanings or whatever. You can go ahead and make your own assumptions. It's neither here nor there. But the thing that disappointed me, other than the layering, and it wasn't even so much, though, the thing that this pissed me off, or the messages, pissed me off, the anti-military rhetoric, if you will. I think a big part of it was the fact that as I was walking my daughter to school 2 days ago, any kid could have picked any of these up. Any child. And any child who knows how to read is going to make assumptions about stuff. The Marines are pedophiles, Pedophile is a pretty strong freaking word. Clowns and criminals wear costumes attached to, tell me again who the terrorists are. I'm not quite stupid enough yet. Well, I don't know. Maybe you're stupid, maybe you're not. But that's what really offends me, is the fact that you decided that you were going to take the time to come up with all these snazzy laminated, very nicely done business cards and just strew them, just throw them everywhere. While you were probably on your bike, because that particular morning I had seen one long streak of a bicycle tire, a track, so that tells me that you really didn't even think this out as far as your distribution was concerned. Yes, that kind of mindset can be dangerous, and I think it is rather dangerous, especially when you have these out in a public, forum where they can be easily picked up by a child. I remember being little, and I remember my Uncle Larry telling me, hey, you like comics so much, you should read these comics. Very weird, offensive, scary comics. They were these little, like, 2-inch by 4-inch comics that, had, if you don't repent and accept Christianity in your life, you're going to burn in hell, and you're going to hang out, you're going to fry with the hookers and the miscreants and whatnot. Stuff like that is very hardline stuff. Children don't need to see that. I'm all for letting my kids be kids. I'm all for letting my little daughter be a little girl. I'm all for her watching Disney films and stuff and protecting her from, I guess, the asinine rhetoric and, whatever this intent is. It's fine if you're anti-military. But why not create a video like this? Why not do a blog post? Why do you have to litter? Why do you have to come up with these strange messages of hate? Free assembly, free speech is one thing, but don't put something like this out in the open. And maybe you should reevaluate why you dislike the military. I understand that patriotism is something you might not understand, and that being patriotic might be of a different definition to you. But when you come up with something like being idiotic is not patriotic, that's kind of, I don't know, it just seems a little contrived, a little formulaic. Boys and girls, the function of the military is not to provide you with education, employment, adventure, and ability to serve your country. It is Murder Incorporated. I thought Murder Incorporated was a really good heavy metal tune. I don't know about, describing our military, but look around you. We've got folks in service and uniform who do all sorts of things who are underpaid and underappreciated. I, for one, appreciate these folks who have, decided to step out of their own comfort zones and serve their country. And whether or not you think it's heroism or patriotism, or you agree or disagree with me, yeah, they are serving their country. They're serving their country above and beyond. And they're not bragging about it. It's just one of those things where they get up and they do their thing. And it's very strict. It's very regimented, obviously. And if we didn't have them for all of these years, no matter what you might believe or what you might argue or, whatever I don't know. It's just a little hard for me to kind of come up with a description of this versus what I believe. But the bottom line is, if these people weren't here and they weren't serving their country and they didn't, uniform up and be brave and sacrifice their lives ultimately, quite a few of them, thousands upon thousands upon thousands upon thousands upon thousands. I could be even wrong. It could be even more. I'm not a statistics guy in that regard. The fact of the matter is, if those people didn't help build our country and didn't help defend our country, I wouldn't have the luxury and the luck to be able to work at home on a daily basis, juggle my gigs as I do, be able to walk my daughter to school, be able to walk my daughter home from school, and be able to have an open schedule as I do. I'd have to be forced to work some Joe job or some gig I didn't want to work and ultimately be unhappy. So you see, this whole thing about my job, it kind of comes full circle in regard to the freedoms I have because of those people who put themselves on the line for me and my family and, future generations to have the freedom to be happy and do what they want. And I guess maybe that is all part of the pursuit of happiness. But on this Veterans Day of 2015, I just wanted to share with you that there are some people out here who, yeah, they don't like the military. They're anti-military, and I guess perhaps they would say whatever they could to bring them down, or kind of drop their morale down a few notches. But I think most of us know that just doesn't work, and this doesn't work because me as an editor, one of my jobs is to correct structure and phrasing and sentences and paragraphs and syntax and whatnot. And if I've got to delete a whole lot of these sentences and a whole lot of these messages, then yeah, my job is done. And I think I did a pretty good job of it. And what it comes down to is, folks, people who did this, it's kind of a waste of time. I know it's a day late, but a happy birthday to the United States Marines. You don't look a day over 100. And I hope you all have a good Veterans Day. I'm not terribly sure if Happy Veterans Day is the correct grading, because many veterans gave their lives for us to have our freedoms. But for those who are retired, those who have passed on, and those who are active duty, we love you very, very, very much. And if anybody loves the military and appreciates the military, as I do, delete these if you see them. You don't have to cause a fuss. You don't have to be combative or vulgar or, acidic or whatever. Just quietly pick them up, toss them the hell out. Have a fantastic day, folks.